Today's agenda. We will start with our introduction, followed by the info session, knowledge break, expert insights, interactive discussion, and conclude with a Q&A session. Today's session is specially designed to empowering aspiring finance professionals and providing practical exposure to the realities of the finance industry's career pathway and insights to breaking into high finance successfully. Whether you are a university student, fresh graduate, or young professional exploring opportunities in finance, we hope today's session will provide valuable guidance and inspiration for your future journey. Today, we are also privileged to be joined by three highly accomplished industry professionals who will be sharing their experience and insight with us. Our speakers today are Mr. Alan Lau, the Global Partnership and Client Solution of CFA Institute, Mr. Yuan Ting Jing, CFA, the COO of TED Optimus, Sendirian Berhad, and also Mr. Alex Chin, CFA, the Country Chief Investment Officer at Generali Insurance Malaysia. We are truly honored to have them with us on this Saturday morning. To officially begin today's program, it's my honor to invite our Director of University Relationship from CFA Society Malaysia, Dr. Siti Noor Farida, CFA, to deliver the opening remarks and some short introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Siti Noor Farida. The floor is yours, Doctor.
Thank you, Kay. Okay. By the way, my name is Siti Noor Farida. It's very common for me to hear people saying Noor Farida like that, but yeah, it's Noor Farida. Anyway, good morning, everyone. On behalf of CFA Society Malaysia, I'm delighted to welcome our students, members of the public to today's webinar, from classroom to high finance, inside finance careers and how to break in. So we know that for many of you, the transition from academic theory to the fast-paced world of investment management, they can feel like a daunting leap. So our mission today is to bridge that gap. So before we dive into our panel, to our panel and their speech. So I just want to briefly touch on CFA program, which is often referred to as the gold standard in the investment industry. It's more than just three letters behind a name. It represents a deep commitment to the first one is integrity, global portability, and technical excellence. So whether you're aiming for portfolio management, for research, or for risk, the program provides the analytical framework that you need to navigate today's volatile market. So here at home, CFA Society Malaysia, it serves as the local heartbeat of this global network. We are a community of more than 1,000 professionals, investment professionals, dedicated to professional development and market integrity. So for students, we offer like the CFA Institute Research Challenge, university affiliation programs, as well as networking opportunities like this webinar for you to connect with the leaders of the industry. So we are incredibly fortunate to be today to be joined by three distinguished professionals, who are Mr. Alan Lau from the CFA Institute, Mr. Ting Jing from TED Optimus, and also Mr. Alex Chin from Generali Insurance. So to the participants, this is your time. So finance is not just about numbers. It's also about curiosity, critical thinking, ethics, and persistence. Okay. So I encourage you to listen closely to their stories, to what they have to tell you. So not just their successes, but also the challenges that they face while breaking in. Okay. So without further ado, let's begin our journey from the classroom to high finance. So over to you, speakers or MC.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siti Noor Farida. I'm so sorry for the mistake previously, for the inspiring opening remarks and warm encouragement to all participants today. We truly appreciate CFA Society Malaysia's continuous efforts in empowering and developing the next generation of finance professionals. Continuing, we will have Mr. Alan Lau, the member of Global Partnership and Client Solutions for CFA Institute, which helps to develop CFA institutional relationship across the Asia-Pacific region. Mr. Allen has the experience in the consultancy and M&A, and most recently worked on developing strategic partnerships at Hong Kong preeminent English language news organization. Without further ado, let's proceed with our first segment for today, the CFA Info session. Now, I would like to invite our representative from CFA Institute, Mr. Allen Lau, to begin the info session. The floor is yours now, Mr. Allen.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Yep.
Yeah, we can see your screen, Mr. Allen.
Great. Thank you. It's great to be here with you today. Um, I'm going to speak today about the CFA program, as Dr. Narafida has said. So at CFA Institute, we have a lot of experience of speaking with employers, and we know that the market rewards people who can prove good judgment and not just knowledge. And the industry is moving very rapidly. There are trends such as sustainability, giving way to new focus areas such as AI and private markets. Um, and there will be more change in the future. And what the CFA program gives you is a solid understanding of the investment industry. Whatever trends come and go, CFA program will be the bedrock of your investment career, providing you with credibility and competence in your job, and also a community of peers and international mobility. So you're probably all coming from different start points. You may be exploring options as a student or in the early stages of your career, or you may be looking for ways to accelerate down a specific path. I think the key question you should be asking yourself is why now? And one reason I can offer is that the industry is changing very rapidly. There are fewer and fewer entry-level roles, creating greater competitive pressure for the remaining roles. And at the same time, people are living and working longer. Top positions in firms are being occupied by older people for longer, making it more difficult for younger people to advance in their careers. So how are you going to adapt to that? And the CFA program is a very clear signal to employers who are looking for evidence of rigor, ethics, and real skill in making investment decisions. So let's take a look at what CFAs actually do. On this chart here now, you can see we have a very healthy mix of people who do equities, fixed income, private equity, and so on. The major asset classes are all very well represented across our member base. CFA charter holders occupy a range of investment decision-making roles, typically as research analysts or portfolio managers. But they also go on to enjoy careers in asset and wealth management, investment banking, commercial banking, consulting, and so on, alongside a diverse range of careers both inside and outside of the industry. This is another view of where our members sit in the industry. Very broadly spread is the kind of the general view. It's particularly striking how widespread our members are because and it's interesting because the program equips you to excel in a very broad range of different roles in the financial services, not just in the traditional portfolio management. And it also shows that the professionalism that comes with the CFA program and CFA charter holders is valued across different functions. And where do our charter holders work? So these are the top 15 employers of CFA charter holders globally. And these are the top employers of CFA charter holders in Malaysia. So a very good spread of different major firms across different regions. And what drives high regard for the CFA program? So a lot of people don't realize this, but we're primarily a research organization. Our research in this space gives us a very good sense of the key skills, knowledge, and behaviors that are needed in a well-functioning investment industry. We have a practice analysis team that is constantly monitoring the industry and making recommendations, starting from what the needs of the industry are, through to what are the key knowledge areas and skills that are needed from new industry entrants, and with a core focus on ethics. The program is standardized globally, both in terms of content and exam security. And collectively, this is what drives very high regard for the CFA program. So what does it mean to have high standards in finance? Well, there are four main areas. Firstly, there are standards of professional competence covering the hard skills of knowledge and proficiency, and also the application of that knowledge. And then there is objectivity and independence, which is about how you manage conflicts of interest and make objective judgments. There are standards of professional conduct, which cover how you act in the workplace, how you behave towards clients, and how you behave towards colleagues. And then there's also professional integrity, which is about acting in the best interests of your clients and supporting the development of the market and the industry. And the CFA program covers all these areas, helping you to become a rounded investment professional. So in summary, as a globally recognized credential, the Charter really demonstrates to employers that you have the knowledge and commitment to thrive in today's complex and evolving industry. Um, I think in competitive and high stakes environments, this combination of rigor, breadth, and ethical foundation distinguishes the Charter as a credible indicator of professional value because the program gives you a holistic understanding of investment decision making rather than making you narrowly specialized, and because you're trained to think across the full investment process, and also because ethics and professional standards are embedded at every single level of the program, reinforcing the importance of integrity and accountability, which Dr. Norafida rightly pointed out earlier. So a little bit about CFA Institute. Why did we create a CFA program? I mentioned as a research institution, our mission is to lead the investment industry by promoting ethics in education and professional excellence. So when you align with CFA Institute's values, you're aligning with what the profession values most, ethics and competence. And we achieve our mission in two main ways. On the one hand, we have our research and advocacy. We produce thought leadership on issues that impact the industry, and we use that to drive a debate about how things could be improved, how things could be different. And we also use our research to engage with regulators and government agencies to advocate on behalf of the industry. And the second way we achieve our mission is through our education projects, so CFA program, and our other educational projects, our certificates, which aim to train new industry entrants. Our members are spread across the world. They constitute a vast global network across 160 markets, and they organize themselves into local CFA societies. So every market will have its own CFA society. And the societies act as mentors, peers, networks, and actually champion for the industry in their markets. And as Kay mentioned, aside from organizing events, our societies also engage with regulators and advocate for the profession. So I've talked about why the program matters. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how you get the charter. The program is demanding. I think that's well known. And this reflects the high standards of the profession. So candidates typically invest around 300 hours of study per level, with most completing the full program within 2 to 5 years. I think what's important here is that success is closely tied to effective planning. So the candidates who manage to succeed typically choose realistic exam windows, establish consistent weekly study routines, and actively seek feedback through practice and self-assessment. And it's the rigor of the journey that enhances the confidence and strengthens the long-term value of the CFA designation. So this is an overview of the three levels. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but you can see that the program covers key knowledge areas in all of the major asset classes, key tools in investment analysis, all based around ethics and professional standards, which is the core grounding. So at level one, the focus is on learning and comprehension of key tools and asset classes. By level two, you're expected to apply that knowledge on real world scenarios. And then by level three, you should be able to evaluate investment portfolios and build your own. Also now at level three, you can have the option to specialize in one of three areas, portfolio management, private markets, or private wealth, in the specialized pathways box with the green border, but I'll talk more about that later. So ethics. Ethics is really important. And while it's not mainstream, I think we're already seeing some hedge funds use AI to make and even execute investment decisions. And so, in a world that will be increasingly dominated by the use of AI, I think understanding ethical decision making is something that will make you stand out. And the CFA program, ethics is treated is not as just a standalone topic, but it's an integral component of professional competence and embedded through each level of the curriculum. So you're trained to recognize conflicts of interest, you're trained to evaluate ethical dilemmas, and apply professional standards consistently across diverse investment scenarios. And this approach really reflects the reality of investment practice, where decisions will often involve trade-offs and ambiguity and accountability. And so by cultivating ethical judgment early and reinforcing it continuously, the program prepares you to act with integrity, even under pressure. And over the course of a career, trust becomes one of the most valuable professional assets. Ethical conduct supports career resilience, strengthens professional relationships, and underpins client confidence. So the program's emphasis on ethics is really important. It helps to ensure that your technical excellence is also matched by professional responsibility and reinforcing the CFA charter holder's role as a trusted steward of capital. So now we're going to look a little bit at some of the recent innovations to help keep the program relevant. Of course, CFA program content is regularly updated to reflect changes in the industry. Around 10% or so of the content is updated every year. On top of that, we know that employers are increasingly demanding new entrants to the industry to be able to hit the ground running and to have desk-ready skills and experience. So we've introduced practical skills modules in 2024 to help you learn these tools and learn how to manipulate them to get desired outcomes. The practical skills modules are practical training sessions taught through guided practice, videos, and case studies. They take around 10 to 15 hours each to complete, and you need to do at least one in order to get the result for each level. But you can do them at any time that you want before the results are published. So on screen now are the practical skills modules for levels 1 and 2 candidates. And these are the practical skills modules available for level 3, which correspond to the specialized pathway that you pick, which I'll talk about next. So we know that the needs of our program candidates are diverse and go beyond just the buy side. So we performed a job role analysis to determine which other adjacent job roles sectors would benefit from specialized training on the program. So since last year, since February 2025, the level 3 exam has included specialized pathways. So these are two additional routes in private wealth and private markets while keeping our traditional portfolio management pathway. So you can select a path that suits your interests and aspirations the best. The three versions will still have a common core of around 70% of the level 3 curriculum, so that there'll still be a high level of consistency between charter holders. And so far, people have mainly taken the portfolio management path, and the private markets has been the next most popular. Another way we have kept the program relevant is by teaching the specific tools that many candidates will go on to use in daily life. And in this case, we have partnered with Bloomberg to teach some of the functions available on the Bloomberg terminal. So to help address the demand and support candidate learning, Bloomberg regularly reviews CFA program and so far has identified 387 Bloomberg terminal functions that map to the majority of the concepts taught on the program. And these functions are now taught and integrated into levels 1 and 2. So we have recently done a free webinar on this topic. You're welcome to scan the QR code on screen now to access that webinar to get a taste of what the Bloomberg functions are that are integrated into CFA program. So this is a really wordy slide, so I apologize for this. But I think what's really key here is that CFA program is incredibly relevant to a lot of the issues that the finance industry is facing today. So we've picked out four of the key ones right now and mapped CFA program content to them. So on screen now, you can see how the CFA program is relevant to issues around geopolitics, macroeconomics, and conflict. These are covered primarily in levels 1 and 2, but also in the practical macro PSM at level 3. The growth of private markets is an increasingly important topic as well, and you can see how the program teaches these issues mainly at levels 2 and 3. And then data science and AI, also very important topics with the increasing use of AI to take on some of the analytical workload. And these topics are covered on all levels. And finally, sustainability, issues around energy and physical transition and climate risk, how to price risk are covered primarily level 2 and level 3. So onto the exam structure. So you start out at level 1 by doing primarily multiple choice questions. By level 3, you do need to start writing essays as part of the exam. I would particularly note the time constraints. For instance, level 1 doing 90 multiple choice questions in 2 hours and 15 minutes is quite a lot. So you need to plan your time appropriately for that. And also do note that CFA exams can only be taken in English. When you become a candidate, you receive the online program study materials. We have developed a comprehensive learning ecosystem that's available to all registered candidates. It includes an official program curriculum, study sessions for each level, there are custom study plans, and more. And you only need these study materials to pass the exam. The CFA program curriculum is the only source material for exam writers. Additionally, since I think 2024, candidates can also purchase the optional practice pack add-on. This gives you an additional 1,000 practice questions, 2 additional mock exams, and a exam simulation environment, all created by the same team that writes the CFA exams. This is another view of the candidate resource page while you're studying. There's a single dashboard that consolidates all of your learning tools and materials into one place so you can keep track. You can use this on a browser on your laptop, or you can use the mobile app version. So that's it about the program. Onto some tips for success. So I mentioned the average candidate spends around 300 hours preparing for each level. So the advice would be to prepare a study plan showing when and what you're going to study and stick to it. And also look to build in at least 2 weeks for pre-exam revision. And also remember the program curriculum is the only source material for the exam writers. So make use of the study tools, the learning ecosystem. There's a print book that you can purchase if you wish. There are digital tests and practice exercises, as I mentioned. Focus on the learning outcome statement assigned to each reading. They guide the exam questions. So you might feel that in some cases you might have already gained expertise in a particular area, but being successful means having a command of the learning outcome statement, which may or may not correspond to your pre-existing knowledge. The learning outcome statement tells you what you need to learn from the curriculum. And then practice, practice, and practice. Work as many practice questions, mock exams, or sample questions as you can. Make sure some are done under exam conditions with a variety of topics and time constraints. And make sure you use the approved calculator that you plan to use on exam day. And also finally, show up. Up to 30% of our candidates do not show up on exam day for whatever reason. So scout your exam center ahead of time so you know where to go, where to park, and where to have lunch. So you don't have to spend energy figuring it out on the day. And make sure you have your passport, calculator, and exam ticket with you. So all of the key facts about the program can be found on our website. If you have any more questions, you will be able to find the answers there, or you can contact our global customer care team. As of today, the November 2026 and February 2027 exam windows are open for registration, and you can scan the QR code that takes you to the correct place on our website for further information about key dates, about the learning ecosystem, exam format, and so on. So no doubt a lot of you are students, and we understand that, knowing what is in store for you ahead is probably one of the most stressful things, most important things to get right. So we've created a thing called ICANN, the Investment Careers Accelerator Network. It has a whole raft of information to help you make sense of the industry and chart your future. And so please scan the QR code. It's free to join. There's, I think, a career path guide, some real life stories from people who have completed the CFA program, and also a bunch of educational and research content. And there's also a section called In Brief on our website, which is a repository of great content for people who are already working in the investment industry, with advice and insights on navigating your career journey. So scan the QR code to visit that page. And then our Research Policy Center is the thought leadership engine that powers the CFA Institute and acts as a positive influence in the industry. So for a deeper dive into specific technical areas or to develop your understanding on key topics, you can scan the code on screen now to visit the RPC. And finally, an area of great importance. What does AI mean for those in the industry, particularly those of you who are just starting out or considering career options? So we ran a webinar on this topic a couple months ago, I think in March, covering how AI is increasingly taking on a share of the tasks, and asks, what does this mean for students and early career professionals? So you can scan the QR code which will take you to that page. And that's it from me. Thank you very much for having.
Thank you once again, Mr. Allen, for this insightful sharing. If you have any question, you can drop your questions in the chat box anytime, and we will have a Q&A sessions afterwards. Okay, now moving on. I hope everyone already have a better understanding about the CFA pathway right now, and the finance industry and the opportunities that lies ahead. Now, to make the session more engaging and interactive, we will move into our interactive knowledge break, where we will test everyone's understanding of the earlier sharing by Mr. Allen. And yes, there will be prizes for our top participants. To conduct this exciting session, I would now like to pass the time to my fellow organizing committee member, Mr. Jendong, who will be hosting the session. Over to you, Mr. Jendong.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Miss Kay. So, hi everyone, I'm Jandong. So I will be conducting this interactive section. So before I start the section, there will be some rules and regulations to let you guys know. First, don't worry, I also will send the rules and regulation in the chat box later. So first is actually you have to join this interactive section, because this interactive section is like a quiz section. You have to join with your full name or the name you register for the Zoom. So the second rule is the points, because we are calculating the winners based on the points. So the points are awarded for the speed and accuracy. Means that the more accuracy and the faster you answer, then you will get highest marks. So the third is actually just like what Kay mentioned just now, the top winners will receive a mysterious gift from the CFA Society Malaysia. So I will send the rules and regulation in the chat box. So is everyone received that? Okay, I saw someone like already, so react already. So I guess these rules and regulation has sent to you guys. So without further ado, let me share my screen for the quiz section. So remember, you have to join with your name and or your full name or the name you register for the Zoom. If you didn't do it according what we want, even though you win the champion, we also will not award you the prizes. So I hope my explanation is clear. So I will share my screen now. So the first question is, what does the acronym CFA stand for investment profession? Is certified financial service, financial advisor, finance associate, financial analyst, or financial accreditation? Five seconds more. Yes, congrats for those who answered correctly. Yes, it's actually Chartered Financial Analyst. So let's move to another, the second question. So what does the acronym? So now this is the leaderboard, and you guys can see who is the champion for now. So let's move to another question. So how many exam levels must a candidate pass to be eligible for the CFA chapter? Yes, it's actually 3 levels. For those who answer correct, congrats. So now we move to the next question, which is how early can university students can register for CFA level 1? So if you notice, you listen to the briefing just now, then you can answer it. Yes, it's actually 23 months before graduation. So means that if you are year 4 students, then you can register for the CFA level 1 during your year 2. And if you are year 3 students, then you can register during your year 1. Okay, so we will continue our next question. Before that, we will have the leaderboard. Yes, congrats to Sojin. So we will have our next question now. So how many hours of study do successful candidates typically report to for each level of CFA exam? 50, 100, 200, or 300 plus? Five more seconds. Yes, it's actually 300 plus per hours. So because CFA, we have at least 3 exam hours. So each 100 study hours per exam hours. So it should be 300 plus hours. So we will continue our next question. How are CFA exam taken today? Is it computer-based testing, oral interview, paper-based, or home assignment? 3, 2, 1. Yes. Congrats for to answer computer-based testing. So yes, it's actually computer-based testing instead of the paper-based and home assignment. So our leaderboard now. Yes, still Su Jin Hong is the champion now. So next we'll have our question 7. Starting in 2024-2025, what major addition has been made to the curriculum to provide hands-on training? Internship, PSM, workshop, or public speaking? Yes, time's up. So yes, it's actually practical skills modules. So let's move to another question. Which is the following of the PSM topic available for level 1 candidates? Crypto mining, which the most hot topic now, luxury brand management, Python, or real estate law? Yes. Yes, it's actually Python programming fundamentals. So we also learn Python for our level 1, CFA level 1. We found list award and followed by the Charles T and also by Yuan. So now we will have our next question. Besides finance knowledge, CFA also emphasizes: is it ethics, public speaking, leadership, or marketing? Hands up. So it's actually ethics. Yes, ethics is very important for every CFA charter holder. So now we will next have our next question. How does the CFA Institute now recognize the achievement of candidates who pass level 1 and level 2? A physical trophy, lifetime membership, free trip, or digital badges? 3, 2, 1. Yes, congrats for those who have answered by issuing digital badges. Yes, level 1 and level 2 will have the digital badges. So the leaderboard now is, yes, Su Jin Hong, Charles Z Chi, Yuan still lead the boss now. So now question 11. Which of the following is not the core topic covered in the CFA program curriculum? Ethical and professional standards, financial modeling, process optimization, or portfolio management? Time's up. Yes, congrats for those who answered the advanced manufacturing process optimization. Yes, it's not covered by the CFA curriculum. So, Su Jin Hong, Charles Chi, you still remain on the top 2, and Matthew Patrick Ravindran, you are the second winner now. Sorry, second runner-up now. So, question 12. Can non-finance students take the CFA program? Yes or no? It's either yes or no. Few seconds more. Yes, it's actually yes if they meet the requirements. So we will continue our next question. Okay, the leader both feels the same now. Let's move to another question. So which scholarship is specifically designed for those who cannot afford the full program fees? Excellent Award, Access Scholarship, Senior Professional Grant, Global Partner Scholarship? Which one is the correct answer? 5 seconds more. Yes, it's actually the Access Scholarship. Quite sadly, most of you guys answer the Global Partner Scholarship, but it's actually the Access Scholarship. So you can check on the CFA social media to learn more about this asset scholarship or go through their website. So Su Jin Hong and Charles Chi still remain the first two positions, and now Matthew Neo become the second runner-up. Okay, the question 14 now is, which is a common reason students pursue CFA? Career advancement, free laptop, guaranteed media status, skip university, which one? For me, I definitely guess the guaranteed millionaire status to become a finance pro. Yes, it's actually the career advancement. So for the one who answered the guaranteed millionaire status is actually correct. Yeah, it's actually the career advancement. So this is the leaderboard now. Su Jin Hong, Charles Chi, and Matthew Neo still remain the top 3 position. Now we have our final question. So this final question is a bit tricky. The CFA charter is recognized in how many markets globally? 20, 50, 100, or 160 plus? Okay, time's up. Yes, it's actually 160 plus. Okay, so this is actually a poll for you guys. So the result first now is actually Su Jin Hong leads the Su Jin Hong leads the leaderboard for 1,263 points. So later, Su Jin Hong, Shalish Chan, and Matthew Neo, you guys will contacted by the CFA admin for your prize to claim your prizes. So that's all for the interactive section. So I'll pass back to Kay. Thank you. Hope you guys benefit from it.
Thank you so much, Jiandong, for hosting this session wonderfully. I saw the excitement in all of you, and congratulations once again to all the winners. Thank you so much, Dina. Now, moving on to the highlight of today's event. We will begin our industry speakers session, where participants will hear directly from the industry professional with extensive real-world experience in finance and investment. It's my pleasure to introduce you our first speaker for today, Mr. Yuan Ting Jing, CFA. Mr. Yuan currently serves as the COO of Ted Optimus Sdn Bhd, a company recognized as the first Bursa-listed information vendor that leverages AI-powered stock analysis capabilities. He has extensive experience in equity research, trading, investment analytics, and financial technology innovation. Throughout his career, he has included positions such as research analyst at the Edge Market, where he covers sectors like poultry and cement, and a proprietary day trader for Hong Kong structured warrants at Kenanga. In addition, Mr. Yuan is a CFA charter holder with multiple achievement in investment competitions and innovation rewards, including Best Innovation Reward at PEAM Foundation Stage 2024, National Champion at Bursa Malaysia Invest Hack 2020, and multiple national levels investment competition victories. Today, he will be sharing valuable insights to navigating finance career and industry opportunities. Now, let's please warmly welcome Mr. Yuan Ting Jing. Mr. Yuan, the floor is yours now.
Hello everyone, good day to the most ambitious and most open-minded student and investor. Good day to all of you. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is actually a book by Simon Sinek, and then I pretty much would like to bring the message across the room today. So it's actually start with why. And with the belief system of starting with why, you guys will be able to achieve success in CFA, career, and also life. I'll be sharing my story and also some more insight into CFA. So let's say you guys are dating. So during your first date, then someone actually your partner actually says, "I'm extremely rich. I have a big house and I drive a beautiful car. I know lots of famous people. I'm on TV. I'm actually doing pretty well for myself." And at the end of session, if they started with all this, how likely are you guys going for the second date? So all this is like they are bringing out a lot of credential and then bring out what are themselves, but they don't really touch your heart. So very likely this guy won't get a second date with the girl. What if they introduce themselves in another way? I love what I do. I wake up every day to inspire people, to help them, to make them feel better. It's a wonderful thing in the world. And the best part is to be able to figure out different ways that I can solve the problem. I think it's really amazing. And believe it or not, I'm actually make a lot of money from doing that. And actually, I have a big house, nice car, meet lots of famous people. Lucky of doing what I love. I'm doing, and I'm actually been able to do pretty well whatever I'm doing. So by giving the why, it's actually the purpose and not it's not like the price that they don't want to. It's more like communicating your purpose to the other party, and it inspires people more. And also, you can say that it's more energized the conversation. So this is actually a start with why conversation, and also it inspire people, and it's more likely this guy will get a second date. So this is a dating advice. Same goes to our real world. If the why is missing in our heart, then a lot of manipulation will happen. For example, you are going for what? You are going for promotion. You want to, because people are getting the thing, so you are also getting after it. So you are fear of missing out, and also even social media pressure, or you are fear by a lot of problem. You want to people people enlarge your problem when they want to sell you something, or people say that by getting their product you can get rich, you can get famous, or get powerful. All these are missing of the why, and people will is more likely in the world there will be more manipulation happening, and this is like carrot and the stick. So people are you are driven, you are motivated by externalities instead of the big why in your heart. And same goes to when you are pursuing CFA, then there may be a lot of externalities. Of course, this may be true and maybe not true, but then if you are motivated by externalities, by the what's, for example, money, status, and prestige, is a motivator, but then whenever you meet some hardship during pursuing the CFA, you may not be consistent and you may not sustain your effort to reach the final goal. So externalities is good, but the big why in your heart is actually particularly important. For example, one of the example is Frank Lee CFA. He actually pivot from another industry, and then his big why is actually curiosity. He actually failed in his attempt once and twice in CFA taking, but then with his curiosity and his big why, he are able to pull it through. And he also a big why from him is also to prove that his commitment and capability to his future employers. And now he's a CFA because he he even said in his interview that he failed many subjects in his first year at university, and he want to just to prove to his future employers that he can be committed and also have the capability to complete a CFA. So this is some of the reasons of a big why in a candidate or even yourself to pursue this CFA journey. And also a lot of people may be transition from another industry. So all these are very much welcome. A lot of CFA are not from finance industry themselves. And let me share my story. So when I was small, I actually won pretty much award in my primary school and high school, physics, mathematics, chemistry, and also sports, and also appear in my school newsletter and also newspaper. So all this, when I'm small, I'm a achiever, a high achiever lah. And if you come over to my house, then you can see a lot of medal itself. But then for myself, I actually met a very big tragic failure in my heart. Is which when I was in A level, I actually applied for Cambridge University and I was rejected. And that night is actually a very big gloomy day for me. And from that day, it's not actually, I'm not sad because I'm rejected, but then it's because I saw the question in my admission exam to Cambridge because I go through the past year paper, but I didn't finish the past year paper and I saw the question. But if I were to finish the past year paper, I would have answered the admission test into the Cambridge University, and it's a very high chance for me to be able to get into university. So is in my heart is like I feel because I wasn't committed enough and also not not committed in completing the past year, and then I actually got rejected by Cambridge at that time. And further on, I actually go through my degree in maths in University of Warwick, which is regarded very high in maths in the UK. I went travel around Europe for around different European countries, Paris, UK, France. And at the time, I actually developed my interest with finance because I go through a lot of my lecture in finance topics. At that time, I was studying maths, but then I go in a mind where I want to go into quant finance, which is quantitative finance, where I want to build financial model for the finance, and then kind of like using quantitative methods, mathematic modeling to actually pr predict the finance. So at the time, I was really pretty much interested in finance, and I also visited a few landmark of finance in some of the European countries. However, unfortunately, I actually dropped out from university from Warwick, and this is an image of myself when I'm visiting Cambridge, where is a famous poet from China. He's called Xu Zimo, and then he actually write how he came to Cambridge and then he left Cambridge. So dropout is due to some personal reason and also some some experience that I experienced in the UK. However, I still want to, it's a big, it becomes my big why in pursuing CFA because I really want to prove myself that I'm able to commit through and also be able to prove my capability to endure through a difficult situation. And for CFA, you actually, the typical path is you need to go through university internship. Then with your three years working experience, then only you can get a CFA charter holder. And my second attempt back to university is actually I actually enter a local university. And then at that time, I still want to prove myself that I'm capable of going through a degree and complete everything. So I actually, during my university, I joined multiple competition, which some of them you guys are able to join now as well. They are a long-running competition which still happen today. For example, PMB quiz and also CIMB ASEAN Stock Challenge. H3 is H3 is only one-time competition, and PMB, and also there are also multiple case study competition, research research writing competition. At that time, I also inspired by CFA and also I joined the CFA Research Challenge, and we are able to visit Westport as part of the CFA Research Challenge. And then from there, I actually know CFA better and then actually inspired to become a CFA. while writing through the report. And actually, the report is actually pretty useful because of writing the report. I actually attached the CFA research report in my first job application. And this actually stands out myself because you are able to, you have already completed a report along with your peers, and then by attaching this document for your job application, you actually showcase to your future employee here that you are able to complete something that maybe most of the rest are not able to complete. So by joining CFA Research Challenge and also multiple competition, it's not just about CGPA, but also a big why you are in the finance. You are really passionate. You are not just asking for a good salary, but then you are serious about finance and also committed about having this first career in your CFA program. So all this actually stand out. So by taking CFA level 1 or joining CFA Research Challenge actually will outstand yourself from the other peers. And at the time, I met my mentor, which is Warren Mark, which is now my partner for my company, Optimus, and we start up the company. And during my early career, I am an equity analyst. I cover a few industry, and actually at that time it's very different from now. Now information is overloaded on everywhere. At the time, I actually wrote a full report of some companies and then publish it in Bursa Meets, which is the Bursa marketplace where we have we have our reports as part of the Bursa program. And yeah, so it's not just about analysts or any career path, but it's the big why in your heart. So CFA is definitely not easy. You need long hours, you have a constant pressure, you need to stay late nights, and you need to commit the 300 plus hours of studying. Definitely is a a, a must. 300 plus hours for myself. I think I exceed that a lot above that threshold. And the why actually matters more in your heart. It's not getting into finance and because you want to get rich or become a millionaire in the finance industry, but the big why will get you through and give you the curiosity or the big reason when you're enduring through the process. And also different skills in succeed in finance. We'll cover more that in the panel session later. And skills to start building now. So now, because of the big why, and I actually pull off and complete my CFA and also become a CFA charter holder in 2020. That time was pandemic, and I was able. It was a drive-through experience for myself. So at that time, we are not able to have a ceremony, but then we drive through and get the CFA cert, and yeah, I'm a CFA charter holder. So it's a one of a kind experience. And then by being a CFA charter holder is a big milestone for myself because I'm able to prove to myself that I can really pull through. Even though I dropped out from university once, but then I'm able to commit through and prove to myself and others that I am a capable and also a disciplined person to able to complete through the hours. And definitely it's not easy. And some people may say some people may even want to be complete CFA in the first attempt. And yeah, so and also at that time I get the best student award for my academy, CFA Tutor Academy. So for myself, it's a big milestone and also a big award to myself because I am able to prove myself that regardless of my hardship in the past, I'm able to prove. So there are different career opportunities in the finance. We'll talk more than the panel session later as well. And yeah, so I'm still keep fighting now, and I won multiple awards for my company. We get the Malaysia Board record last year, and also because of the big why, I want constantly proving myself and to the industry that we are up the utmost standard. and also sharing on stage where I share on multiple stage, for example, Security Commission, Bursa Malaysia, and also multiple competition and meeting different CEO and C-suite level on the industry in the public listed company. And for now, I'm still giving back to the community, finance, university, and also CFA as well. So for yourself, how do you find your big why? So the answer is not looking into the future. It's not looking that you want to get rich, you want to get a high career position ultimately. So all this is externalities. The big why actually happens when you look into your past, what you have undergo before, what you have endured, and you really want to correct it or you want to prove it. So by motivated by this reason that happens in the past, you need to really find your why. And the why is actually particularly important when you are in the finance industry because finance is definitely very competitive and definitely people will actually want to outsmart you in terms of your stock picking skill or and your investment portfolio management skill. So all this you are constantly competing. So you to endure through the process to have the big why is particularly important so that you are able to succeed and excel in this finance and also CFA journey and also in life as well. So anything, the big why, the big purpose of yourself, of living on this earth or the big why for yourself to endure through any hardship is a question that you need to ask yourself. So don't chase the right answer. So some of the one I will end this my speaking slot by saying CFA Charter is a marathon, not a sprint. So you need to find a big why and become the sustainable fuel for yourself to endure through CFA, through your career and also your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yuan, for this insightful and inspiring sharing. I'll start finding my big why now. So your experience and perspective have certainly provided valuable guidance for the participants aspiring to build careers within the finance industry. Next, we are honored to welcome our second speaker, Mr. Alex Chin, CFA. Mr. Alex Chin is currently the Country Chief Investment Officer at Generali Insurance, where he oversees investment portfolios and strategies for the Malaysian entities. With more than 20 years of experience in the financial industry, Mr. Alex began his professional journey with Bank Negara Malaysia in 2001 and has since built extensive expertise in strategic asset allocation, market outlook and performance analysis, investment risk management, and portfolio optimization. Mr. Alex is a CFA charter holder, which holds a master's degree in finance from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology University in Australia. He is also a former certified internal auditor and holds a certification in risk management assurance from the Institute of Internal Auditors USA. We're truly privileged to have him with us today to share his professional journey and industry insights. Let's welcome Mr. Alex Chin. Mr. Alex, the floor is yours.
Hello. Very good morning to everybody. In fact, today I think in terms of the weather is very good. We obviously can sleep very long for today, if not because of this sharing. Okay. Today obviously I would like to have a more interactive section. If anyone like whatever I say, you can just give me some reaction. Clap some hand or give me some thumbs up or even some rocket is okay. So that I know you are around and you are still following my sharing. Yeah, thank you so much. So lovely. Okay, so my story. I think I do not have something that. Thank you for Ting Jing. Very inspiring story of him, and he also teaches us how to tackle girls. So my story, I do not have that, but I have a very proven method how to tackle girls because I already got 2 kids. So the track record is always there. If you want to know more, you can PM me later. So I'm not going to share it here. So I will start out with my own career experience. So I started with, as what Vicky said, I started with Central Bank after I graduated from the US. First degree in finance. So when I was young, I know what I want to do. I want to involve myself into the financial market, into the financial world. So that is why I take up the finance major. So when I came back, I think during that time, I think the market are still recovering from the Asian financial crisis. So it will be like, end of 99, 2000. But I got an opportunity then. I applied to financial institutions, to asset management firm, as well as the, banks. But I think the opening at that point in time, because of the situation and the condition at that time, the opportunity is very limited. Very lucky for me, the central bank at that time, actually, they are opening and they have hiring. So I'm lucky to get in. So I started from there as an insurance supervisor, looking after all the insurance company. So in Malaysia. So that is my first job. So after 7 years, I would like to try it out, a different kind of job scope, job spec. Then I apply to the commercial world. So that is no longer in the government sector and go to the commercial. So I joined Great Eastern as an internal auditor. But the role is regional. So I cover Indonesia market, Singapore, and then also the China market. So that's also give me some regional exposure, which is good, right? But this is a audit function. So that's something different from what I have in the first job, which is in compliance and regulation. So it's in the government sectors. So now I pivot into audit. So after 3 years, then I came back to Malaysia. So when I came back to Malaysia, that is another opening in investment, which is looking after the middle office, looking after investment performance, attribution, fund manager, management, and all those things. Yeah. So I apply. It's within the same organization. So I apply, I got it. That is the time that I fully focusing into investment. Okay, investment. And then after 7 years in Great Eastern, then I moved to a general insurance company as their head of investment, looking after both their both their equity and fixed income, as well as a money market portfolio, grow the income for the company. Before I moved to another company called AXA Affin Life. So from a life company, GE, go to non-life company, then I go back to the life company as the CIO, so Chief Investment Officer. So until now. So yes, that's my journey so far. What you can say is that it's okay to pivot if you, let's say, when you have, involved into one sector, you think that after certain years, you think that this is not, you want to try it out something else, it's okay. So when there is opportunity, you should try, right? You should explore further. So this is how I get where am I now today. I'm going to share with you. I think this is something in the slide about an insurance company's picture. Okay. Firstly, if you are not too familiar with what is insurance, actually it's insurance and insurance company. What we are doing is an insurance company is a company that sells insurance, right? Insurance is a future protection for an individual or a family. So when a family think that they need an insurance protection, so they go to the insurance company, buy the protections. So what they will, in exchange, they will pay premium, right? They pay premium, they pay So this premium is a form of money. They pay to the insurance company. So what the insurance company will do, they will take the premium, collect the premium, and then they will use this premium, invest into a financial market to grow this premium pool. Why they want to grow this premium pool? Because that is a future obligation they need to fulfill. So they need to pay back the policy benefit to the policyholder when the policy mature. Okay, so what you can see here is when you can see financial market, right? Financial market. So my job in the insurance company is when the company collected a premium, they send it to me. Then I will use this premium to invest into all the financial instruments that are available in the financial market. Okay, in order to grow the money. Okay, in order to grow my portfolio. So once the portfolio is sufficiently able to cover the future liability, then the company will be able to pay out. Okay, this is how the insurance company work. Then you look into the org chart. Typically, an insurance company org chart is like this. Okay, so where at my stand in the insurance company. Okay, insurance company, because of the governance structure, you have board of director. Then below the board of director, they have sub-board committee member to oversee, the major policy decision of the insurance company, and also the what do you call it? The business direction of the company. What they want to focus in, what sort of product they want to focus in, is like medical and health, par products, okay. So clear. So then from the management onwards, we got CEO. Then below the CEO have all the respective department or division head. So this is the typical structure of the insurance company. So next, this is my last slide. Okay, last slide I want to emphasize to you within the insurance sector. Okay, there are a lot of opportunity for and finance graduate or whoever majoring in investment, depending on what you want, depending on what sort of personality you are, what sort of job expectation you are able to fit into all this section or division. You see, so in the investment value chain, this is particularly, I just take an example from the insurance company. So you can basically, we look at that this universe, right? You can segregate this universe into 3 sections. So back office division, middle office division, and the front office division. So I think most people, when they have impression about investment, they always talk about trading, what to sell, what to buy, how to do invest. Those are the investment activity that are associated with the front office division. Okay, within the insurance company, the most relevant function are reside in the middle office division. Okay, the back office division is something that like you can outsource to custodian banks, or the banks will be able to handle it for you. Like transaction settlement. Once you have your portfolio has traded certain stocks, then when you come to payment or corporate exercise, receiving payment in kind or dividend in species or dividend, then the custodian bank will do the admin for us in order to determine what is the fund value and also the net asset value of a certain feeder fund or investment income. So the main things I need to explain to you is middle office. This is what normally an investment division in an insurance company will do. Okay, we'll do ALM, which is asset liability management. We need to match the asset cash flow with the liability profile, the liability cash flow, so that this is very important, because going forward, we want to ensure that the insurance company is able or capable to pay the liability that has been promised on the onset or during when they first sell the insurance policy. That's very, very important. Secondly, we need to manage the asset duration gap so that when there is a change in the yield curve, the liability valuation also based on the yield curve movement, right? So what we are doing is we're trying to manage this asset liability gap so that when there is a change in interest rate, the sensitivity between the asset movement and the liability movement can be minimum, or the gap will not be widened or shortened that would pose a liquidity risk to the insurance company. Okay, last one will be something like investment risk limit management, because when we do investment, we cannot overexpose to a certain asset classes or certain sector, even a certain counterparty. So these are, we are managing our asset positioning and asset mix so that we are not putting too much of that into a certain or individual asset class. Okay, then the middle part is the SAATA, which we call it strategic asset allocation or tactical asset allocation. So here we are optimizing our asset mix from the risk reward perspective, where we are talking about efficient frontier. And if you understand efficient frontier, then you are able to visualize what we are doing. So that is maybe at a certain expected return require, you will be able, the model will be able to suggest to you and more efficient portfolio mix, giving a minimum risk. So that's one. So when we have the efficient frontier, you will have a suggestion of 50 to 100 model portfolio for us to suggest. How are we suggesting the best for the company? We also further assess the model portfolio from the solvency perspective, as well as the earning volatility to P&L perspective. So this are a very technical job and very challenging because we also from that perspective, I think if you were to want to involve yourself into this division, I think these are the required skill. So why I'm sharing with you this thing is to give you certain insight of what we are doing, right? What we are doing in the insurance side in terms of the investment, so that when you break the investment portfolio, you basically can look into two parts. One is the asset allocation part, the asset allocator part, and then the other part will be the stock selection part. So the stock selection part will be under the asset management side. So where either the insurance company would have the in-house management of the asset management, or they can outsource this portion to the asset management firm to do all the point that I highlighted here. The last thing I need to highlight is before we go to investment portfolio planning and reporting, this is very normal because every time what we do, we always have budget, right? We always have target for the year, how much we want to make, what sort of asset inflow that we will have, and what is the market expectation or the asset return expectation going forward, so that at the end of the day, we are able to meet the target, okay? Target investment income return. The last one is I think most important, or getting even more important, is sustainable investment, where I think most of the investment managers nowadays already integrated the ESG factor into their investment, and to promote sustainable investment. And this one is very important going forward, which we look into climate risk, and we look into governance risk as well as social risk. So this, I think, is a new trend. Not so new, but now it's getting more important and critical. So I think that's about all for my sharing. If you want to know more, you can always find me in LinkedIn. We can connect, and you can pose any question. If time allow, I will reply to you guys. Okay. So I pass the floor back to MC.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alex, for the valuable sharing and professional insights. I think I've learned more about the insurance company. I believe participants has also gained as much as I do. Now we'll proceed to our next session of the day, which is our panel discussion session featuring both our distinguished speaker, Mr. Alex and Mr. Yuan. To moderate this segment, I would like to invite my fellow organizing committee member, Mr. Ravan, to take over the session.
All right, thank you, AK. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's panel discussion. Our session today focuses on a topic highly relevant to many students and young professionals here: how to navigate finance careers, build long-term success, and understand what it truly takes to break into the industry. We are especially fortunate to be joined by two distinguished speakers who bring very different but equally valuable perspectives. On one side, we have the founder of Tech Optimus, Mr. Ting Jing, representing the entrepreneurial and growth building side of finance. And on the other, we have the Chief Investment Officer of Generali Malaysia, Mr. Alex, representing institutional investing, leadership, and large-scale capital management. Thank you both for joining us today. All right, let's dive right in. Okay, so both of you built successful careers through very different paths. One through entrepreneurial, one through institutional investing. What do students often misunderstand about how careers in finance actually develop? And Mr. Ting Jing can take the question first.
Yeah, so most students, as even I was in university time, the path that I look in my financial career is typically analyst, fund manager, and then retire as a fund manager to become maybe a millionaire investor. But however, in finance career, there are a very wide range. It's not just about analyst and also fund manager. So to give an example, for example, treasury, where you need to go through hedging processes for your forex hedging, your commodities hedging, which is also typically interesting. It's also working in a very high pressure environment. And also corporate finance, typically in the more downturn market where a lot of merger and acquisition or restructuring is happening. All these typically you are involved in corporate finance. So it's actually a wide range, even for more high tech, fintech, data analytics, or quant trading, prop trader, or even startup space, venture capital, and private equity. And if you want, you can also join like regulator, for example, Bursa or SE, where you have a different perspective of the market. So all this is not just like finance, there's only one route. There's multiple route for you, and you can choose from the big spectrum, and then all of them is very different, and then not typically you that want to go through the only route that you see lah. Yeah, that's what I typically see many people misunderstand about finance career. Yeah, back to you, MC.
All right, so if Mr. Alex would like to give your perspective on it.
Sure. I think I echo what Ting Jing have said. Yeah, very much. I think when I was in my old days or in my younger days, I always think that investment is something about trading. You go to the trading floor, you shout, you get the stocks and you buy, and you get generated a lot of money and become a millionaire. But that is why I choose finance as one of my major. So okay, but I think the people nowadays are much more exposed and much more knowledgeable. Even university student or even student in a secondary school. So I think they know what they want. I think they know what's those career paths that are available in the financial markets. It's just that there may be a deviation and expectation, right? That I think that this is something very exciting, but when you come out to the real world, then you think that, hey, how come these are, it's not that fun. It's not that fun. Whatever I see from the movie, yes, very, very exciting, and then, something like a James Bond movie, but, when it just, come to the real world, things are not really progressing as what is under expectation. But is it something that, you should feel regretful because you have choose a wrong major? Supposedly you say like, oh, I better choose medical or medicines. When I saw, when I watched the movie of A&G, it made, it was more exciting from that perspective. Now finance, it become like, oh, that is a reality shock. But don't worry, because just now I show you already, that investment functional chart and all those like division of work from back office, middle office, front office. If you don't like the work in the front office, you always can look into middle or the back. You can find something. If after you have graduated, you think that after you tried out the front office work, you don't like it because it's very fast paced, it's very aggressive, you need something to be more work-life balance. Then you can try out something like in the back office or something like that. This is only something in the what do you call it, insurance sectors only. Then you look into asset management sector, you look into the regulation like SC. So these are all different spectrum of work path or career path in the financial major. So it's very variety, it's very wide open. So it open up a lot of opportunity for you. But the first thing is you need to get your credential, you need to get your qualification, your fundamental strong, right? So that you are able to get into what you want. And also you need to know what you want. Then you do research. After that, you got a plan. So I think I stop here. If you got anything, then we can talk later. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, even I can relate to what both of you guys mentioned, because I myself picked finance because I had an interest in capital markets, like Mr. Alex when he chose finance as well. And then as I go through my degree in the first year and second year, it's like you can see there's so many different paths you can take in this industry, and there's like so many nuances as well. And if I can give any advice for uh, our fellow students here, you guys should explore more, join more events like this, talk to the people to get more exposure and understand the nuances. And if I can segue to the next question, many students wonder whether they should begin in a large corporate institution or a smaller, fast-moving company or startup. In your view, which environment is better for fresh grads, and what should they consider when making that choice? I think Mr. Alex can take this question first.
Okay, sure. Well, it really depends. Depend to one's personality, depends to one expectation, and depends to one what they want. Okay, so I'm not saying that my career path or my recommendation is a one size fit all kind, so it will be suitable for everybody. But my recommendation is for a fresh grad, normally or at best you should start with a large corporation. Why? Because they are more structured, they are strong financially, and you will be able to learn the best of class practices. Okay, best of class practices. So why I say so is, okay, because all these big corporations, they have been exceeded for the past at least 50, 100 years, right? Okay, they are not new. So everything has been evolving through time and proven they can survive over time, okay, for a long time. So in terms of their policy processes, all are tested, proven, boleh jalan one, okay. So from there, as a fresh grad, you have all your knowledge about the financial market. But how to apply all this? So you go into this big corporation where they have a set or a list of guideline and processes or SOP, so that you learn from there. So how, the way of how an idea is being generated, origination of idea, how do you assess risk, whether is that a tool or model for you to assess a risk, and then how do you, once you have all this, and then you make recommendation, and then what else? Execution, the most important part, execution. What is the best way to execute all this, right? And they have all the proven, what do you call it, the way your senior will be able to lead you, to guide you, in order to get your project successfully implemented. And then after that, the post-mortem, and then how you track and monitor the progress in terms of your projects and in terms of your research and also your SWOT analysis, right? And what is the contribution to the portfolio and all these kind of things, right? And I think what else? So that's a good thing. So from there, you are able to understand more about the industry. You are also understand more about yourself, whether you like the job in a big corporation or not, right? This is more important. And then financially, big corporation give you a steady income, right? To support you when you have early days in your career. Obviously, you need this money to support your life, right? Or your day-to-day consumption. So these are very important, so that you are able to keep improving yourself when you have a free time. So why I say so is earlier day in a career, you don't want to struggle too much. So you have a steady income, and then you want to improve your skill. So and then after the work, you maybe want to take extra classes, CFA, whatever, right? And then these corporations are able to sponsor you. They pay for you, rather you have to fork up yourself. So good things, right? So they are able to support you in that way, and also give you a very good learning platform, and also give you a stable income, right? So this is how you enhance yourself. Okay, after 5 years, then you will talk to yourself, right? Whether you want to branch out more. Then when you branch out into startup, you will be value add. You know what to do already, from to grow the startup, and from a using a proven track record and all those things. So I stop here. Okay, thanks.
All right. So as we can see from the more structured path, you guys have more like stable way to go through this like career path, like learn, experiment with like different departments or different companies. And in terms of, if I can move to Mr. Ting, who has a more non-traditional pathway, going through degree and then doing CFA to finding his own company from joining competitions and everything. Mr. Ting, what is your perspective on this question?
Like what Alex said, general concession will be corporate will have more stable job, visible salary increment, proven career ladder, and also the SOP, which particularly as in the corporate, you will be doing tasks that specialize to a skill set. But for myself, I think this question is asking whether you want to be a specialist or a generalist. Because specialist, if you're working in a corporate, then you are very much zoom into your specific area, and then you are doing your only specialized area. But in the startup world, it's a very dynamic world, and a lot of things you need to build from scratch. And for example, even the SOP, you are the one developing the SOP. Instead of following the SOP, you need to find market leads, sales, you need to hire people, and also business modeling and positioning in the market for you to to outbid the other competitor. So all this will actually open up your perspective. Even though you are not going to a specialized area, but then this generalist is actually particularly powerful for you if you are in the finance industry. Because in finance industry, a lot of things are actually interconnected, and we actually need to solve problem and have a perspective from a multidisciplinary perspective. So you may be in you may be investing in a manufacturing company, but then you will need to understand how manufacturing works. So all these are interlinked, and to be able to have a startup mindset, you are able to understand different perspective, not just from the investor perspective only. You are also having a perspective from the company decision maker and also company entrepreneurship, how they build up the company. Because as an investor, most of the time we may be very much focused on the numbers and the research, but then certain decision may not be so viable as an investor. So by being in a startup space, you'll be wearing multiple hats. You are not just specializing in one area, but then it actually helps because when you prog when you maybe progress further in a more senior role, they will actually require this kind of perspective as well. So by having a different perspective, by wearing different lens, you are able to solve problem from a different solution. So it's not like the usual SOP or usual route of solving a problem, but you are able to, in a way, be more innovative and also be able to come up something from scratch with something very challenging and also something very rewarding. Yeah, so I would say it's a choice between a generalist and a specialist. But in advice, you can always be a generalist and specialist in one area. So you that's the that's the better route lah. So you are generalist and then specialist in one segment that maybe in fund manager or one segment that you are very good in. That will be even better lah. Of course, given a choice, I would say startup is a space that give you a more broader perspective lah. Yeah. Yeah, back to you, MC.
All right. Thank you for your perspective on this as well. And as a student, last year I was searching for my own internship, like should I intern in a larger company or smaller company. I've managed to, I was interning at a smaller firm, venture capital, and I can say that the exposure you get is much more bigger as you're not specializing in a special task or a special department, as Mr. Ting Jing mentioned. So it's like, do you want to be a generalist or do you want to be a specialist? It really depends on everyone's why and which phase you guys are in terms of your career or the journey or taking in finance as well. And segueing to the next question, many young people place heavy pressure on securing that perfect first job. Even as a student, I also like emphasize on the first job needs to be so much perfect. And but in reality, how important is the first role compared to like how someone compounds skills, relationships, and experience over time? And I think Mr. Ting Jing can take this question first.
Okay. So breaking into the first job, especially in a competitive and also future demanding area, I would say is pretty important, pretty important. Because if you are not from the inside, you are working from the outside, very much you are actually have a you might have a misconception and also it's more theoretical if you are just looking from the outside. But once you are working for that role, any particular role I have mentioned multiple choices. not just fund manager, there's multiple choices. You will actually only be able to experience it and also accumulate your experience for your further skill development. So let's say you are you haven't done a venture capital before, then you are outside the role, then everything is very much theoretical and it's not a- integrated into your mindset. And especially in the age of AI, there's a lot of AI agent skills can be trained into algorithm, and all these, the especially the junior level will be more competitive because a lot of s- skills, once you train to AI, then senior role may be able to automate or streamline their processes so that they can have more control over their work. So breaking into the first job is definitely very important. And do not get me wrong, saying that after breaking the first job, then you're getting everything a head start, then it's a win all the way. You definitely will need to upskill yourself throughout the time. And yeah, so with the age of AI particularly, it's not just about the surface that you need to be very understanding. You need to go through the first role and then progress to a senior role, then you will have it, I believe I understand it's very competitive in especially the job market now, but then it's something worth to dive into, and getting into a first job will typically let you be more practical instead of a theoretical perspective. Yeah, maybe back to you, Revan.
All right. All right. Thank you for your 2 cents on this. And if I can ask Mr. Alex, as you've tried recruiting in the US during the Asian financial crisis and everything, and managed to secure a job at Bank Negara, which is one of the highly coveted institutions in Malaysia to begin your career in. What would your perspective be on this as well?
Okay, very, very good questions. I think you're right. You're right. It's also really depending on your first job, how important, how critical. To me, I think if you look at my career path and my past experiences, okay, it's really depending on the timing, how long you stay in your first job. Okay. A lot of people that I come across, they came to interview, fresh grad, they actually, not many of them come with prepare, and they also coming just to think that, they think that this is the right place, and they think it should be suitable for them as a career, as a long-term career path for them. So, but they haven't tried it before. I think this apply to everybody, right? Especially a fresh graduates, and I also don't expect them to give me a very, a good answer to this. When I say, why do you want to apply for this job, and how much you know about the market, and how much you know about the JD of this job, right? These are the common questions that I will ask, but it's not an easy answer for them. But they're being honest. Instead, just say that, yeah, actually I don't know. I don't know how long I will stay here. I would do, continue with this job. It's just that from the advertisement, these are the job scope that are disclosed to me. I think it's okay, it's suitable for me. I study all this area, right? I study all this area, but okay, I think it's fine and fair. Okay, so sometime like myself, I tried out. I think that the central bank may be able to give me a very good platform for me to learn about the Malaysia financial markets, because they are the national premier bank, they are the national regulator for the banks and the insurance company. So I got a privilege. So I go in. And then the area that I'm focusing is in insurance. And when I pivot, right, when I change my job path to commercial, I still stay within the insurance sector, right? After 7 years, you see. So my first job lasted me for 7 years. 7 years is a long time. It's a long time. So for me to continue to value add into my next job, I need to stay in the same sector. So that is a limited choice for me to pivot to other sectors. If I think that insurance sector is not the best sector for me, yeah. After my first job, I think suddenly I realized when I woke up one day, I said insurance is not a good sector. I should go to asset management. I should go to consulting. Fine, but not after 7 years. You should have think about this like maybe 1-2 years. Okay, 1-2 years. So that is why I say first job critical, important, depending how long you stay in the first job. If let's say it's just 1-2 years, 6 months, that doesn't matter. That doesn't count. Because most of people they want to try insurance, they try 1 year, 2 years, they think that not suitable, they want to pivot, they want to change to consulting, just go ahead, change it. So from there, but you have to give yourself a time frame for your trying. Don't try all the time until like 30, 40, still trying, don't know where, right? So you cannot progress meaningfully in your life, in your career. You can't achieve a very successful path. What I can say, you only be at the middle level, maybe the best. Okay. So you need to give yourself a plan. If I want to try is fair for fresh grad, right? So you try maybe for the first 5 years. When you try, you learn. It really doesn't matter which industry you are in. You learn the same way as how you manage your stakeholder, manage your bosses, manage your downline, whatever, or your colleague or your peer, right? And then how you operate, tools like Microsoft Excel and using that for analysis and all. Those are very common. You can do it for other sector. They can be applied the same. So I think for the first 5 years you tried it good. After that, then you need to focus. You need to have to know what you eventually want to achieve, right? Right? Then you put in a plan. You put in a plan how you want to achieve it. So that you know when are you going to get what you want. If you do not have a plan and you just like go by the flow, then it's not wrong also, because this is also a personality things, right? So there is no one thing fits all. But I think if you want to make your first job very important, then you need to stay longer to invest yourself and to become more expert in that first job. Then so that when you move to the next job, you will be in a higher ranking or taking more responsibilities, bigger job scope, and all those kind of things. But the same sector, that will value add. Okay, that will value add. If it just slip out of my mind, yeah. Okay, so I come back to you. The idea just come and go already. so I stop here.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
for both our speakers' perspective on this, because like as a student, it's very hard to really plan ahead, because we ourselves don't know what we really want, as like being in the industry versus just studying in academics, very different, very nuanced. Even from my internship experience, or even like recruiting for investment banking, like during the interviews, it was an eye-opening experience, like seeing the nuances like between the movies, or even like different markets like US or Malaysia, how it works. So yeah, so for everyone, it's just like your why and which part of the journey you are and what's your end goal. Mainly just focus on that. And in terms of the current age as well, AI is taking over the like entry level jobs, and it's very hard for fresh graduates as well. So if I can segue to the next question, which is focused more on AI and Claude, specifically in the finance industry. As AI is automating the work and offshoring is like compressing entry level salaries, what is the one thing a a human graduate can do that a machine or a cheaper offshore hire cannot. And if I can start with Mr. Alex, in since you're from Generali and a larger firm, uh, is it okay if you can go more towards if like are you guys using automation or AI to automate like entry level jobs and yeah, give us perspective on it.
Yes, definitely. I think when the technology advancement is available, we need to leverage on all these technologies in order to work our work more efficient. I think that's the key. Why we don't afraid of AI, we don't afraid of technology advancement. I think we as a human, we need to adapt to the change of environment, to the change of the evolution of the industrial world as well as the technology world, right? This is how where we work in and how we live in, right? So we have to adapt. If not, then we will be what do you call it, face off, you know, by the evolution of the era. So that's one. So what we are using AI for our customer front end. Now we have less human interfacing with the customer. We use AI to interface with customer because when customers are calling in, I think their request is very similar. So you can do a very generalized kind of checklist, you know, what they want to know about this. I think AI can handle it more efficiently than human, and they do not need to sleep. They can work 24 hours. So you can call anytime now, no need to be 9 to 5. So you can call, you know, middle in the night, maybe suddenly you dream of something about your policy, then it suddenly like wake you up, and then you call, and then you can call immediately. So that's one, and then you can use WhatsApp. I think that's also AI generated WhatsApp to handle all this. Operational wise, I think we use AI to scrutinize or to assess claim requests, like in the area of medical and health claim. So you know that now the medical claims are so high. So we you know in the policy there are certain things that can be claimed, certain things cannot be claimed. But if you just rely on human eye, it's very hard to. It's very it taking a longer time to assess all these claims. So in order to improve the processing turnaround time, so we use AI to process a certain what they call it, a common claim request. So that is one. Investment. I think what we saw is we are using AI to analyze a certain, you know, like annual report. So now AI is very advanced. AI have a lot of agents now. A certain AI platform got agents. Okay, they can play. They can have a role play. They can be a recommender. They can be a contrarian. They can be, you know, somebody, and you just specify who they want to be, and also a chairman for all this, so they can, you know, from an analysis perspective, a company financial perspective. So the recommender will put in all the pros of why you should buy into these stocks, and then that is contrarian to shoot down all your ideas. So from here, I think how a human can leverage on all this technology and advancement is you need to be able to make use of this in order for you to produce a more comprehensive stock recommendation or stock report that are more advanced than before the existence of AI. You know, before the existence of AI, how do you when a stock analyst producing a report, they always bias towards the person past experience, a person how much he know about the industry, right? And his encounter so far with their bosses or with the peers and all, and also with the management. AI I think got its shortcoming. AI only able to access information that you uploaded to it, or information that are available in the open platform, or internally you have your own database is okay. So depending on that limitation, human actually can supplement with the management view. So the whatever what do you call it, the analysis about the stocks or company, you need to integrate the human the management view about the future business. I don't think AI is able to predict that more accurately than the management itself. So these are some insider information that you can gather that you are more superior, I would say, than the AI at this moment. So that's my point of view about AI. Leverage on AI. Don't afraid of that, and make yourself look like more professional. Okay, so I stop here.
Yes. As Mr. Alex mentioned, we as students really need to leverage AI, and specifically in the finance industry, tools like Claude, as it can really take over the financial modeling and the groundwork of the task in terms of research as well. And you can just plug into Capital IQ as well. It's like very, very scary for fresh graduates
Yes,
or
yes.
people starting their degree right now. And as we are really running short of time, I will proceed to a closing. And to close with one short message from each of you, what advice would you give every student here who wants to build an exceptional career in finance? And if you can say it in like one or two sentences would be sufficient as well. And Mr. Alex can start as well.
Okay. I think firstly, if you want to be successful, you need to know what you want. What is your ultimate goal, your target? Even though you don't know what you want now, but because you need to achieve certain things, it's like we are doing budget, right? You're going to travel. You only got so much of budget. If you have so much of budget only, then you will come up with the itinerary that are suiting into this budget. In your career path, also the same. You need to able to visualize or to dream. Where is your end game? You dare to dream first. If you don't dare to dream, so you won't have a successful career path. If you think that one day I want to be like Alex, I want to be a country CIO, then you think, okay, this is what I want to achieve, right? So what I want to achieve. Then you go and do research. You join community. You talk to successful person. You go and scout in LinkedIn all the CIO. You go and connect with them. You look at their career path. You check with them. How are you going? How you become what you are today. Something like that. Whoever kind enough to teach you, very good. So you research. Then after that, you come up with your plan. Short-term plan, long-term plan, medium-term plan. So then you go according to your plan. Eventually, you will hit it. So something like that. So if you want to success, I think to be successful, you need to know what you want. This is more important. So I stop here. If you want to know further, text me. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Alex, on your perspective on it. If I can ask Mr. Ting Jing on your few words, and if you can relate it to your non-traditional pathway as well, would be great.
I will align back to what I shared in my speaking slot, which is start with why. So you need to really get your life purpose and really get the big fire inside yourself. And then even for CFA, they have the mentorship program. So if you, for different spectrum of the finance, let's say for analysts, if you are because I see question like if you want to break into finance industry. So let's say for analysts, I would actually particularly suggest fresh graduate or university student to write LinkedIn newsletter. So if you are writing investment letter, even though you maybe start off with very basic writing, but then it's a way for you to progress. So for analysts to be able to break into analysts, then definitely you yourself need to go through a very very detailed research report writing for yourself, and then maybe attach that will be a very plus time for your employer when you're applying for analyst role. let's say you are trading, then you yourself need to go through the trading and investment capital market in a more real-time practical manner. So different spectrum of finance, you definitely have something that you do that can outstand yourself. But then to understand that, you can maybe go through CFA mentorship program, which is by CFA Malaysia, and then they have mentor mentee, all these. Particularly you can pick a mentor from that particular spectrum that you really want to understand. That will actually shorten your effort. You won't waste your effort because anything you do, especially in a more online presence day nowadays, you can actually leverage on this social media and then to further broadcast your skill to the world. So,
Mm.
but everything must start with why lah. So you need to have a great purpose in yourself. Then only you will break into this exceptional career. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your perspective on this. And if we can sum up the whole panel discussion, our summary would be everyone has to find their why. From there, you guys have to chart your own like plan or course with the end goal in sight and just experiment, go with the flow, or you can just be restricted to a certain part as well. It depends on everyone's why and their own journey in this career. And thank you both for sharing not only your experience, but also practical wisdoms that I'm sure many here found valuable. I believe everyone leaves today with a clearer understanding that success in finance is not only about intelligence or credentials, but the mindset, consistency, trust, and continuous growth. On behalf of everyone here, thank you once again to our speakers.